there is a wonderful quote that I'm about to paraphrase that goes like this, and it talks about self-worth. It says, if you build yourself upon the compliments of others, you will most certainly fall upon the sword of their criticisms. And this really struck me the first time that I heard it because it's so on the nose. If you build yourself upon the compliments of others, you will certainly fall upon the sword of their criticisms. Hi guys, everyone who's tuning in. Welcome. Today I'm talking all about self-worth and how to rediscover our self-worth and what gets in the way of our self-worth and why we get stuck in this pattern of thinking that we're not worth it in the first place. So, tell me where you're tuning in from around the world. Good morning from California, and we're diving right into this, okay? So, like I said in the quote before, if you build yourself upon the compliments of others, you will certainly fall upon the sword of their criticism. What does that mean? That means if you define your worth as a person, as a human being, this wonderful soul that you are, what's up, Hong Kong? That if you define that based upon people's compliments, guess what you will be doing? You will constantly be going out and seeking people's approval, seeking people's compliments, seeking people's thumbs up, right? Their likes, to help you define whether or not you're doing a good job as a human being. In the age of social media, very easy to do, right? Oh, well, this didn't get any likes, this didn't get any, this or that, so therefore my personal self-worth, it must have gone down, but it's so far from the truth. So if we build ourselves upon the compliments of others, we fall upon the sword of others' criticisms, which is if somebody doesn't like something or something, they have a piece of advice that goes against what our gut or our soul is telling us to do, then with that criticism, we fall to pieces. This is very up and down, isn't it? And it's like a roller coaster. And it's constantly seeking people's approval, avoiding people's disapproval. Seeking people's approval, avoiding people's disapproval. And you lose your soul that way because you stop being who you are. You stop being who you are and you start becoming a shapeshifter so you can show up to impress other people. That's how you lose your way. Your gut might be telling you to do something, do this. And the moment that you start to head down a path of ignoring your gut, ignoring your intuition, ignoring your wisdom, is the moment that you lose yourself. And when you start trying to shapeshift into something that this world, quote unquote, wants, then you really lose yourself. Why would we build ourselves upon the comings and goings of this world if things change on the daily? Right? People's tastes change, people's preferences change, people's ideas change, people's concepts change, and sometimes they don't even know why they have them in the first place, but they change like that, right? One day someone wants to go this way, the next day someone wants to go that way. One day someone wants something like this, the next day that piece of fashion is out of fashion, it's out of season. Why would we want to build something as important as our own worth dependent upon the ideas of other people? Why? Why would you do that? If it's so up and down and all over the place and most people don't know even why they have those ideas, why are you giving so much weight to free opinions? If opinions cost $1,000 a piece, one, people would, be much more careful about giving opinions. Two, then maybe you put a little bit of weight on it, right? Because you know that it actually costs something. But people can just freely rattle off whatever they think, right? And that means that if you base yourself upon something that's a free opinion, a free piece of judgment, then you're going to go up and down with it. So how do we reclaim our self-worth? This is what this is all about. How do we reclaim that? We reclaim that by being our own guide, being our own moral compass. If you know deep down in your heart that you're doing the right thing, and you know that in whatever you believe in, doesn't matter, whatever you believe in, that you are in alignment with that, then you're on the right path and nothing else matters. People's judgments, people's opinions, what people think about what you're doing. If you know deep down in your heart that it is good, the path is pure, it's full of light, it's full of compassion, it's full of love, and you and your maker are in conversations about that, then no one's to tell you that you're doing the wrong thing. It's so important to be your own guide, to know deep down in your heart that this is the way to go. And if you're constantly looking out at the world for which way to go, you're going to get a billion different answers. You're going to get so many different, well, do this or do that or do this or do that or do this or do that. Oh, wear blue, no, wear red, no, wear yellow, no, wear green, no, wear purple. And people all have different opinions. Well, do this or do this or do this or do this. You got to shut it all out. And you got to listen to you first. And we don't live in a world that's very conducive to you listening to your soul. Right? If you like this, give me a thumbs up. We don't live in a world that's very conducive to that. So it teaches you to look outside of yourself for answers. But once you start turning within, you're going to find so many answers. You're going to find so many different answers that you needed your entire life, but you've been looking outside of yourself the entire time, so you never could find them. But the moment you go, shh, and you quiet yourself down, you quiet your racing mind down, you will come to a peace and you will come to the answers that you need. You never lost your worth. You just got out of contact with it. You've always had it. You just being a human being on this planet means you have a tremendous amount of worth. But you forgot. It's like sometimes when the cord gets unplugged from the wall, right? It just goes like a light cord for a lamp. It just gets kicked out slightly, or just like one of the prongs is just slightly bent out. That's what happens with us. That's what happens with forgetting who we truly are, forgetting how special we are, forgetting that we are a unique, awesome soul on this planet. And we're taught to think that we are not worth it, and that you can define your worth by being popular, or by buying this pair of clothes, or by buying this, or by buying that, or you could buy your worth. But the joke is that you never lost it in the first place. You were just meant to believe that you did. That's the sick joke. So when you come back to the fact that despite what people had said, and despite your mistakes in life, and despite all these narratives that were being told, when you come back to the fact of you are worth it, you have always been worth it, you never lost that worth it, then you will get into a touch with a piece of you that you have been out of touch with for a long time. And when you get back into touch with those things, that's when your life begins to bloom. That's when things begin to change. That's when you feel a sense of peace, feel a sense of contentment, feel a sense of happiness, feel a sense of love. So if I have any encouragement for you today, is that you are worth it. You've always been worth it. I wrote this in a quote. In fact, you've always been worth it. You've always been worth it. And to silence your mind and to silence the busyness of the outside world and to allow yourself to breathe, to settle, and to move forward in the way that you know that you can, in a way that is in alignment with your moral compass. And when you do that, you'll find everything you need. Okay? All right. That's all I got today.